All right. UFC, the first event of the year, UFC 324 is over. And it's time to go through the card, man. What an amazing card we had. This card was amazing. It was electric. I just got out the shower, so I'm ready to talk about this event, man. This event is was really, really good. I went 7-4 on this card. So winning record. We'll see. Let's see how all these fights went down. So Adam Fugit versus Ty Miller. I took Adam Fugit. I said that he'd be a bit too experienced, a bit too good. Some of his losses in the UFC are to like the best in the division, and Ty Miller's not that. And it took Michael Morales 3 rounds to do him in. It took Mike Mallet like 2 rounds. And I'm thinking, well, Ty Miller's not that impressive, so it won't happen. But Ty Miller went in there and did TKO him. With 1 second left in the first round, I was wrong about this one. I knew Ty Miller could definitely win, but I didn't. The one thing I didn't want to do is I didn't want to put Ty Miller on the same level as Michael Morales and Mike Mallet and, Islam Dulatov and, these guys. So I was like, you know what? If those guys, if Adam Fugit can give those guys somewhat of a decent fight, he probably beat Ty Miller, but he didn't beat Ty Miller at all. And yeah, I mean, it was just he was landing his 1-2s all night long, and that's something I said wouldn't work in my prediction video, but it worked, man. It worked, man. The 1-2 worked. He was so big, so long, so rangy, powerful dude. Just had the tools to beat Adam Fugit, man. It is what it is. Moving on to Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman. Now, 2 fights in a row with a second left in the first round to go when the TKO happened, so that was funny. But this TKO happened due to a middle finger, man. But nah, I thought Denzel Freeman would be much better on the feet. He really wasn't. I mean, I do think that Denzel Freeman technically is a better striker, but I mean, God, the pressure and the pace that Josh Hockett was putting on. I mean, he was just going crazy, going all in, and I mean, Denzel Freeman just couldn't keep up. I mean, sometimes it almost doesn't matter how good your striking is, as long as you're constantly in their face and putting something out there for them to possibly worry about. It could just be enough to just overwhelm their system, and that's what he did, man. That's what Josh Hockett did. Just overwhelmed Denzel Freeman's system, overstimulated him, just did way too much. Denzel Freeman couldn't counter anything. He was getting taken down, beaten up on the ground. When they were on the feet, he was just pressing, pushing forward, throwing shots, even if they weren't the best shots you've ever seen. Josh Hockett is a dangerous, dangerous man. He's an animal in the heavyweight division, an absolute animal. He's a cardio freak. He's not too big, but he's not super small. He's not a fat blob. He's quick. I think his cardio is gonna be his biggest weapon in his career, man. Because that pace he was putting on was ridiculous, man. Was ridiculous, and yeah, he was just putting too much. He was just putting too much on Denzel Freeman to handle. At the end of the round, he threw up a middle finger, and then Denzel Freeman just kind of collapsed over himself, and the ref was like, "I've seen enough, man." And I get it. I really do get it. I thought that the first fight of the night with Ty Miller was an early stoppage. This one I didn't mind, man. Denzel Freeman straight up kind of quit. He after the round was over, he just hunched over and went to a knee. I mean, you can't let that continue. He clearly don't want to be in there. And if a fighter don't want to be in there, you can't force him to be in there. So great performance by Josh Hockett, definitely the best of his career. And what a post fight interview, man. Some of the things he was saying, man, wow. We could potentially have a heavyweight star in our hands, man. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's see what he can do going forward, because he's beat nothing but bums so far. He's looked good while doing it, but before we call him a star, let's see what else he can bring to the table. Moving on, Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Man, this should teach Charles Johnson to not argue with me on Twitter anymore. What is that? Get off my screen. It was Opera GX. man, I this pissed me off, man, because the entire build-up, I wanted to pick Alex Perez so bad. As soon as the fight was announced, I said, oh, Alex Perez got it. Alex Perez is too good for Charles Johnson. Alex Perez isn't 5'3", so Charles Johnson's going to lose. But when it came to the predictions video, I said, you know what? I was going to pick Alex Perez, but I'm going to just go with Charles Johnson based off the fact that Alex Perez is so good at winning the first 2 rounds and then losing in the third and just throwing it away. Charles Johnson is so good at winning or at losing the first 2 rounds and then the third round and then winning by like KO in the third round because he realizes he's too big for everyone. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to actually change my pick to Charles Johnson just for that reason alone. And Alex Perez goes out there. It sleeps him in around. Sucks, man, because I wanted to go Alex Perez so bad. But I don't like Charles Johnson, and I do want to see him lose. So this was a good moment for me in the moment. So I appreciate that, Alex Perez. And, yeah, really good performance, man. Charles Johnson just couldn't handle the power. Alex Perez was putting hooks on him all night long. He hurt him and dropped him early, and I thought it was going to be it. But in typical Charles Johnson fashion, he just gets up a few times and eats the shots, and so he just couldn't eat it no more, man. Left hook on the dome. Puts him out cold, man. Not really out cold. Some people thought it was an early stoppage. I don't think so. I thought it was a good stoppage. But starting off the night with 3 controversial first-round stoppages is crazy. But yeah. Charles Johnson, you're just not good. You're just not that good. You're okay, but you get your success from your size, man, and that's all it is. And I've been saying this, and I said this on Twitter, and he hated this. He hated that. But come on, man. Other than like your size, when have you really shown something in the octagon that isn't relative due to your size? You know what I'm saying? Lost to Cody Durden. Wow, that's horrible. So it is what it is, man. Moving on. Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas. I took Modestas Bukauskas. I thought that Modestas is entering the better stage of his career, and Nikita Krylov has obviously been on the downward fall spiral here recently, getting KO'd like 2-3 times in a row, and Modi's been KO'd people consistently for the first time in his career. I thought this was a matchup where it was like, well, one of them is going into the best, one's going into the worst part of their career, so it's really safe to go for the best, But no, Nikita Krylov just beat him up, man. Nikita Krylov was winning the rounds prior to round 3, was clearly just the better striker, more powerful striker, and Nikita Krylov keeps his 100% finish rate with 3 seconds left, man. It was ridiculous, man. That was very impressive to see, especially at this point in his career where he's not looking that good and people are just KOing him. And for Modestas Bukauskas at this point in his career to not only lose to Nikita Krylov, but get KO'd by him, it's sad for him, man, because he'll never really be anything more than he has already been, so that's sad for him. But good win for Nikita Krylov, man, showing that he still got it, man, the dark horse of the division. He was at one point anyway. Yeah. Moving on. Ateba Gaethje versus Andre Puliev. This was insane to me that this was the first decision of the night, man. Insane to me. I couldn't believe it, man. First decision of the night is Ateba Gaethje, drops Andre Puliev in like 20 seconds. Andre Puliev gets up and then honestly starts to look pretty good again. He starts to pull away. Like Ateba dropped him yet, but the rest of the round 1, Andre Puliev was, landing the body shots. He was winning the minutes. He was looking fast. He was looking good. What other round did he drop him in? Obviously, yeah, he got the knockdown. Hold on, let me move my camera so I can see this. So obviously in round 1, he got the knockdown. Where is it at? Oh, yeah, knocked out right there. And then in round 2, he also got a knockdown in round 2 as well. And no knockdowns in round 3, so 2-1 Ateba Gutierrez. Ateba won rounds 1 and 2. And then lost round 3. Andre Puliev, man, looked better than I thought he would. I thought he would get KO'd here. So, impressive recovery, man, from Andre Puliev. But Ateba Gutierrez, man, you've got to show a bit more to your game than just power, man. I'm going to keep it real. Outside of the knockdowns, he really wasn't looking that good, and he really wasn't landing any shots that he wasn't landing any like combinations or anything other than the knockdowns that made me go, damn, he's kind of good. So obviously you're a powerful man, and you're powerful and you can knock people down and out, but that only takes you so far. That only takes you so far. Once you get to these guys that are so good at not getting hit, it's like you have to have some other kind of well-roundingness to your game. So I hope to see a bit more from Ateba Gutierrez, more than just power. Obviously, it works on guys like, Andre Puliev and Robert Valentin and all these guys. So for now, he's doing well, but, might need to see a bit more from your game. Moving on. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Who didn't see this coming? Umar Nurmagomedov's boringness rubbed off on Deiveson Figueiredo. This fight was dreadful to watch. It was the first dreadful fight on the card. Sucked to watch. I'm sitting there watching like, bro, I could be playing PlayStation right now. It just wasn't fun, man. Umar is so boring. He's so dreadful to watch. And it sucks that he's at the top of the division because he beats most people. And they're just not exciting fights. Figgy hasn't been that exciting for a while, but he at least was very exciting at one point in his career. Umar, he just isn't exciting, never has been, and probably never will be. So it just it sucks. But they did nothing all night. They were just bouncing around in front of each other. Deiveson Figueiredo at like no point in the fight cared about winning. It's like he woke up saying, you know what, I'm going to just let Umar do his thing and not do anything back. But Umar, seeing the lack of trying from Figgy, the lack of care, didn't push anything, didn't really try to establish anything too crazy, just point fought. It is what it is, man. I don't want to talk about this fight too much. It just sucked to watch. There really wasn't much there. I mean, look at these strike numbers, yeah? Hold on. 28 total strikes from Figgy and 103 total from Umar. I mean, just embarrassing, really. 2 for 6 takedowns. Umar's takedowns are not that good. They never have been. Yeah, this fight sucked. Good for Umar. That is not a performance that gets you a title shot. You still need another one. Yeah. Moving on. Arnold Allen versus Jan Silva. This was amazing, man. See, this is the difference here. This is the difference here between guys like Umar Nurmagomedov, Movsar Evloev. You get guys like Arnold Allen and Gene Silva that go in there, grit down, punch each other's heads out. Just an entertaining scrap this was, man. I thought Gene Silva did scrape out a 2-1 decision. It was close, though. Round 1 was very close, but I gave it to Gene Silva. Round 2 was very clear Arnold Allen, and round 3 was clear Gene Silva. Even showboating at the end, using Arnold Allen as a surfboard, jumping on his back and then jumping off. Just very good stuff, man, to watch. A lot of people hated it, but it's just like, at the end of the day, man, I'm here to be entertained. I want to see some good stuff. And Gene Silva and Arnold Allen gives that, man. They go to war. That's what I like. This is what I like here. Gene Silva's very good. Arnold Allen's good, but man, he's, looked a lot better earlier on in his career. Gene Silva, man. This guy is so good. He's so dangerous. And Arnold Allen did better than I thought he would, man. I did think Gene Silva was going to get the TKO finish here, and I was wrong, but Here's the issue about me watching the events is I get drunk, man. I usually drink for good cards. I don't drink for cards like Royval, Cap, or nothing like that. But for pay-per-views, I usually will get a few shots in, party, have fun. So I don't remember too much. And sometimes I rewatch. Sometimes I don't. It depends on how busy I am. I didn't rewatch this fight, and I was drunk at the time, so not really too much I recall. But man, I definitely remember it being a scrap, and thinking that Gene Silva might go on to be a champion. I do think he will be a champion. Moving on. Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. Now, I predicted a win here for Natalia Silva. But I kind of thought Rose Namajunas took it. I'm going to be honest. I kind of thought Rose Namajunas took it. I haven't rewatched. I won't rewatch this fight. It wasn't fun to watch. It wasn't a good fight. But it's like I mean I expect it. It's WMMA, you know. So I'm not too angry about it because I expect it. But I kind of thought Rose Namajunas took it. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of thought he took it. She took it. I kind of thought she took it, man. I forget which 2 rounds I gave her, but I remember at the end going, damn, well, I got that pick wrong. But I guess I didn't. I don't know. Maybe Silva won. Maybe I saw it wrong. But judges are known for being wrong. So I kind of thought Rose won. I didn't watch the majority of or I didn't watch all the fight though. I was like, grappling with my brother, having fun, talking to people in my house, just kind of mingling around. So I didn't really pay too much attention. So there's not much to talk about. But from what I watched, I kind of thought I remember seeing Rose Namajunas win. But it is what it is. I got my pick right at the end of the day, and my girl won. So, moving on to Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Yeah, this was easy. I thought Waldo was gonna win by round 1 KO. It was round 2. I don't even know what the finish was. I mean, that punch. I refuse to believe that that punch is what put Derek Lewis down. I feel like he fell over himself and then was too fat to get up. But Waldo did not impress me here in this fight at all. I thought he should have had a much better performance against Derek Lewis. This Derek Lewis, 40 years old. I mean, big fat slob. I mean, Derek Lewis obviously is still a KO threat. But he's really only a KO threat if you kind of let it happen, I feel like. At this point. I mean, Taliesin Teixeira is not good. And I'm probably going to pick him to lose to Tai Tuivasa this weekend. We'll see. But, Waldo, man. You're calling out Aspinall. Aspinall would dust Derek Lewis up in 30 seconds, Now, in a rematch, Volkov, I think, would dust up Lewis. Gon would still dust up Lewis. Ante Delija would probably dust up Derek Lewis. And you're having that kind of performance. I don't know. It wasn't bad. He clearly was winning and won the fight by TKO, but I wasn't impressed, man. I had higher expectations for him and he didn't meet them, so I think you still need a few more before you're talking about Aspinall, to be honest. But, jab was popping all night long. The leg kicks were popping. The power was kind of not there. Derek Lewis is chinny, man. He's chinny, and he's slow. So, I don't know. I thought Waldo was better than that. Maybe he'll show something in his next fight, but yeah, I wasn't too impressed. He popped him with a jab, and Derek, I guess, fell over himself, and it was just too fat to get up. And Waldo was just kind of, hitting him from side, the backside mount or whatever. So it is what it is. Waldo's cool. He's good. He is good. Moving on. I still think Derek Lewis will be on the White House card. Moving on to the co-main event, Sean O'Malley versus Song Yudong. I picked Sean O'Malley here by clear decision. This fight was closer than I thought it would be. Song did pretty well. I see a lot of people saying robbery here. I thought Sean clearly won. He won rounds 1 and 3. I thought that was quite clear watching it, but again, I was drunk. This fight I actually haven't rewatched, but I would definitely rewatch this eventually at some point. Um, I'm a big Song Yadong fan. He's my favorite ranked bantamweight, and I wanted him to win so bad. So trust me, I'm not biased towards Sean, thinking he won, but I do think Sean O'Malley won this fight. I didn't give it to Song Yadong. I've seen a lot of people now. People do love to throw the robbery word around for ridiculous reasons. So I'm not putting too much into it. The fact that people were calling this a robbery. Um, I might rewatch it, or I will rewatch it, and then I guess we'll see what happens if I change my thought process. But I thought Sean won. He was a bit too quick out there. He used his range well. Song Yadong was good though. He was landing some tight hooks. He was getting in there, closing the distance. His grappling wasn't that successful. For grappling, he went 1-for-1 takedowns in round 1, 2-for-4 in round 2, and 0-for-2 in round 3. So Sean O'Malley was really understanding the grappling towards the end of the fight as the fight went on. Damn it. But man, it was a good fight though. It was a really good fight, to be honest with you. I just thought Sean O'Malley was just too good. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they skip Merab and do Piotr Jan versus Sean O'Malley rematch. Maybe at the White House. I wouldn't be surprised at all because they obviously want Sean O'Malley as champion, and they probably don't want Merab as champion. So I could see them doing something like that. But yeah, I mean, this was a decent fight. Nothing too crazy about it. Again, Sean landing that knee the same knee he landed on Cheeto in round 3. It was nasty. But Song Yadong's got a hell of a chin, man. He's one of the most durable guys. So I knew he wasn't going to get Song out of there. There was no chance. There was never a chance. Moving on to the main event: Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Wow. Justin Gaethje won, huh? Sad for the Pimblett fans. Why is the screen looking like that? I guess I gotta do it like this without showing their names. Round 1 started. I mean, it just is what it is, right? Justin Gaethje drops him in round 1. Paddy Pimblett, man, where was the grappling? I get it, he's not a wrestler, and he is a jiu-jitsu guy, but man, I just thought he'd be able to, I thought he'd be a bit better. I thought he'd be able to get Justin Gaethje down and control him, but I guess not, man. Round 1, he got dropped in round 1. He got eye poked a few times. I do want to mention that. I'm not excusing his loss and saying, oh, he would have won if he didn't get eye poked. But, I mean, when eye pokes do happen, you do have to talk about him. He did get eye poked like 3-4 times. And he did low blow Justin Gaethje, but eye pokes are more dangerous, long lasting. So it's a bit worse for Pimblett to get eye poked. He got dropped a few times. Let me look at the rounds here. He got dropped in round 1, dropped in round 2, did not get dropped in round 3, not in round 4, and not in round 5. So he got dropped in the first 2 rounds. Now, I will say this, though. This was not domination at all. I seen the word dominant thrown around here. And I actually think you're embarrassingly retarded if you think that this was dominant. Embarrassingly retarded. This was a clear 3-2 decision. 3 rounds to Justin, 2 rounds to Pimblett. Pimblett won rounds 3 and 5 very clearly. If you understand how to score, Pimblett won rounds 3 and 4. And round 2 was the round the knockdown was actually in result due to an eye poke. He got very badly gouged in the eye and then immediately hit with a left hook by Gaethje. And it's like, well, getting hit with a left hook by Gaethje is bad enough. You get gouged in the eye seconds before, you're gonna go down. It just is what it is. So, not saying Pimblett would have won that round if that didn't happen, but I mean, obviously, like I said, when when fouling occurs, you do have to talk about it. There is a reason. There's a reason that it's a foul in the first place. Um, it's just sad, man. I really wanted Paddy Pimblett to win. I thought he could. It'd have been way better for the division and for the sport had Paddy Pimblett won. But now we're still stuck here with the old guard and Justin Gaethje, who's gonna get slept by Ilya Topuria. Both of these men would get slept by Ilya, but at least there'd have been some hype, some hype between Paddy Pimblett and Ilya, because there's history there. But sometimes we get these sad moments for the sport. It just is what it is at the end of the day. Paddy Pimblett just couldn't get him down. He wasn't strong enough, and Justin Gaethje's hands were too powerful. Paddy Pimblett did well, though. He was hurting Gaethje. He was stumbling and wobbling Gaethje in moments, especially with that uppercut. They were both knocking each other around with uppercuts. It was a great fight, man. An absolute war, man. Back and forth war, man. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It was not dominant. It wasn't one-sided. It was a crazy war, back and forth. Paddy Pimblett obviously lost, showed more damage on the face, but people show damage differently, so it is what it is. But it was a crazy war, though, man. The perfect main event to start the year with Paramount with. This hypes people up for the rest of the year. We have a pay-per-view coming this weekend. I'll probably drop my prediction for those tomorrow or Thursday morning. But yeah, I guess that's gonna do it for this card. I went 7-4 here on this card. The 4 I got wrong were Paddy, Modestas Bukauskas, Charles Johnson, and Adam Fugit. Pretty good. Pretty good percentages there. All right, I'm going to end off here. Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, UFC 324 over with. Beautiful event, in my opinion. We have another beautiful event coming up. The pay-per-view's not, the number card this weekend is not as good, but it's also pretty good. So, all right, let me head out of here. I'm going to upload this video. And, yeah, let's go Dan Hooker next weekend, man. That's all I can say. But yeah, anyway. Bye.